Hey, it's Matt from Black Coal Woodworking. Welcome back. That right there, what you're looking at, that was a discovery for me. That is my sanding disc on top of a 2x4 or 2x6, whatever was wide enough, and I'm pinning it with my tailstock. That, on rough wood, worked so good. I've never done that before, so I thought I'd share that. On with the platter. I was given a bunch of rough planks that I glued up to form what you saw earlier. And at this point I've got it to round, but I'm also trying to flatten the base. I'm marking out the recess for my 4-jaw chuck. I'm using the biggest one I have because I want the platter to be as stable as possible on the lathe. So using my 1-inch flat scraper, I'm going to flatten the bottom so I have a better starting point to mark out where the foot's going to go. Marking out where I want my foot to be. That's where it's going to sit on the counter. I want it to be about 90% of the width of the whole thing. And then I'm marking the inside of it because I only want this platter to sit on that foot. For the rim, I'm using the 1/2-inch spindle gouge as well, and I'm trying to give it a bit of space between the countertop and where you would put your fingers underneath. This isn't that thick of a board, so I've got to be very careful with what I do here. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that this is a combination of oak and hard maple. And it does seem pretty hard to cut, actually. On the inside of the rim, I've got to reduce that depth as well, but not so much that I remove my tenon. I ended up needing to make my tenon just a bit deeper. In an attempt to clean up the rim, I did a shear cut. This edge here is going to have a slight radius to get to the rest of the rim. My finishing process is pretty simple. I start with walnut oil to give the color the depth that it should have, and then I move on to shellac to give it a bit of shine, a little extra protection, and then I move on to beeswax, and that just gives the whole thing a silky smooth feel, and it dulls down that shine just a bit to give it the look I'm going for. And that's the bottom done. For the top, I'm starting with the 1/2-inch bowl gouge, and I'm also going to mark out the rim to make sure that I don't go too deep anywhere. And then I'll give the rim the basic shape that I'm looking for. I'd like the rim to swoop down toward the middle a bit, and then give it a bead, and then have the platter or plate itself stay flat in the middle, but below the surface of the rim. I switched over to the 1/2 inch spindle gouge again because I just find I get a better cut with that right now. Back to the 1/2 inch bowl gouge here again. It's time to scoop out the platter. Switching to the 1/2 inch spindle gouge, I'm trying to undercut that rim a little bit. I switched to the 1-inch scraper to give it a flat surface. It is a flat scraper. Apparently I took off a little too much there. To keep it flat, I'm using the flattest thing I have, which happens to be a really thick Allen key. I move it around on the flat surface there to see where I've got bumps and make adjustments with the scraper. Some final fine tuning on the rim, and it's time for finish. The finish on the top is the same as the bottom. It's walnut oil, shellac, and beeswax. And that's the platter done. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, shoot me some comments, and I'll see you guys next time.